Welcome to the Rare History Channel. 9 shocking facts about Bernard Madoff. Bernard L. Madoff died of natural causes at 82 in North Carolina prison. The name rings a bell for many, but individuals may never forget this financial fraudster. He single-handedly constructed and operated the largest Ponzi scheme in human history, reportedly. His companies and feeder funds ran for more than 50 years. Madoff discriminated against no one. He scammed rich and poor, old and young, American and foreign, New Yorkers and Parisians, investors from Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and the elite on the Fifth Avenue. Madoff officially defrauded 37,000 people in 125 countries worldwide by the time of his arrest on December 11, 2008. Here are 9 unbelievable facts from the historic New York fraud case. Fact number 1. Nobody was found guilty of knowing about the scheme, except Madoff himself. Only 5 people from Madoff's close circles were found guilty of financial crimes, but nobody apparently knew about the largest Ponzi scheme in history. Trials couldn't pin a single co-conspirator. His 2 sons and wife were not found guilty of having any implications with the Ponzi scheme. Mark Madoff and Andrew Madoff actually tipped the FBI and helped with Bernie's arrest. Both sons died in the following years, and his wife barely survived the suicide attempt. Many affluent individuals connected to the fraud ended up dead under various circumstances. Some swallowed pills, while others sunk to the bottom of their garden pools. Number 2. He was turned in by his son. On December 10, according to the account he gave Fishman, Madoff confessed to his sons Mark and Andy, who worked at their father's firm. "The afternoon I told them all, they immediately left. They went to a lawyer. The lawyer said, 'You gotta turn your father in.' They went, did that, and then I never saw them again." Bernie Madoff was arrested on December 11, 2008. Number 3. Madoff didn't actually steal $65 billion. Madoff effectively stole $20 billion in municipal funds. However, the company projects winnings and claimed it holds assets worth up to $65 billion. Many of Madoff's victims believed they were rich. He effectively managed to downgrade a few billionaires, most notably a French aristocrat René Thierry Magan de la Villa-Huchet. After hearing he lost $1.4 billion in Madoff's swindle, the man swallowed a handful of sleeping pills. Number 4. Bernie Madoff is one of the electronic trading pioneers who developed NASDAQ, the second largest stock exchange on the planet. Bernie Madoff started off selling and buying penny stocks in 1960. He grew his company to become a financial market maker, meaning he'd buy and sell just any stock to help the market stay liquid. Madoff's company developed a unique quoting system that was used to create NASDAQ, the second largest stock exchange in the world and the first place to buy tech companies' stocks. You can buy Apple, Tesla, and Microsoft exclusively on NASDAQ. Madoff became a chairman of NASDAQ in the early 90s and helped build automated trading systems. Number 5. Madoff was amazed at the SEC's incompetence. If the SEC only dared to look at Madoff's business, the whole thing would fall apart quickly, according to Bernie Madoff. He called the SEC a waste of time and complained about their incompetence in an interview with no other than SEC themselves. Everything the SEC did prior to 2006 was a waste of time. It never entered the SEC's mind that it was a Ponzi scheme, Madoff said in one of his interviews. The investigators only had to call a few numbers, and they would have seen it. The man carried himself with cold courage. He admitted to his crimes straight up and apologized to his victims by saying, "I'm sorry, I know that doesn't help you." Madoff exposed how truly complacent government organizations can turn to become in the financial world. Number 6. He was jailed for 150 years. In March 2009, Madoff pleaded guilty to fraud, money laundering, and other crimes. Madoff's accountant, David G. Freeling, was also charged in March with securities fraud. It was later revealed that he had been unaware of the Ponzi scheme, and, after cooperating with prosecutors, Freeling ultimately served no prison time. The thousands of people and numerous charitable foundations who had invested with Madoff, directly or indirectly through feeder funds, thus spent the early months of 2009 assessing their often huge financial losses. U.S. federal investigators continued to pursue suspects, including some other members of the Madoff family. Estimates of losses ranged from US $50 to $65 billion. In 2009, Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison and forced to forfeit US $170 billion as restitution. Number 7. Inside Bernard Madoff's world of lavish luxury. Bernard Madoff's opulent lifestyle served as a stark contrast to the devastating financial ruin he caused through his Ponzi scheme. He reveled in a world of luxury, enjoying lavish homes, extravagant vacations, and a taste for the finer things in life. Madoff's collection of opulent residences included a magnificent penthouse in Manhattan, a sprawling beachfront mansion in Palm Beach, Florida, and a stunning estate nestled in the French Riviera. These ostentatious properties not only provided him with luxurious living spaces but also served as symbols of his ill-gotten wealth. Madoff's penchant for luxury extended beyond his real estate holdings. He indulged in a fleet of luxury yachts, including the Bull, a 55-foot powerboat, and the custom-made 90-foot yacht, Bull 2. These vessels allowed him to sail the seas in style, further flaunting his affluence and extravagance. Number 8. Madoff's son wrote "Fuck you, Dad" in his suicide letter. Madoff apparently never got over the suicide of his older son, Mark Madoff. He wrote a suicide letter for his first attempt. "Now you know how you have destroyed the lives of your sons by your life of deceit. Fuck you," wrote Mark Madoff in his letter before the first suicide attempt. He didn't leave a note the second time around. Number 9. Madoff was well respected in prison. The man had cold courage, which he later took to prison, where he enjoyed his last years. Bernie took prison as a retirement home. He enjoyed popularity among Butner's inmates who would come to Bernie for financial and business advice. He also started a chocolate business that would be highly illegal on the outside. He bought all the chocolate in Butner, created a monopoly, and then resold it back at a higher price. Bernard Madoff died at the ripe age of 82 in Federal Medical Center, Butner, North Carolina. His wife says he wouldn't be missed, and his victims think death was too good for the guy.